Hi everyone, it's Matt Bloomfield at Wycombe Wanderers and you're listening to Wycombe Sound.
The Wycombe Wanderers Show.
Welcome to a very special Wycombe Wanderers Show, dedicated, if that's the right word. I think it is, isn't it?
I think it is, definitely, yes.
To the career at Wycombe Wanderers of Mr. Wycombe himself, Matt Bloomfield, who tomorrow actually, I was going to say this Friday, tomorrow is the appreciation game.
People don't know what day it is as it is because it's Easter, so don't worry about it.
This Good Friday, the visit of Plymouth Argyle has been dedicated to Matt Bloomfield in a celebration of his time at the club as both a player and now a coach as well. So this evening we'll be hearing from him. We've got some messages for him, to him, from players who've played with him, from managers who've managed him, and lots more as well. We'll hear from manager Gareth Ainsworth too, looking ahead to the visit of Plymouth, talking about Matt Bloomfield obviously as well, and we'll hear from the current captain Joe Jacobson also.
And we can also hear from you as well. If you want to get in touch and tell us what you think about Matt Bloomfield, then of course you can by simply getting in contact with us on social media. At Wycombe Sound is our Twitter handle, as they say.
But first, let's start with Gillingham, which of course you were at. If people have seen the pictures, perhaps on social media.
But people wouldn't have known it's me, necessarily. I'm the tall one at the back.
In the hat, or various hats.
Well, it's indeed, and that's it made me laugh slightly, because I wasn't sure what to wear. Because the weather was a bit sort of iffy, so I ended up taking a baseball hat and a woolly hat, and so there's 3 pictures of me standing at the back of the stand, each time with a different hat on, or one time with no hat on, so it looks like 3 different people, but it was actually just me.
Talk us through the game then.
I can tell that you were fascinated by the hat reference. The game was one of those Wycombe games where in the first half we were absolutely all over them, and you were slightly sitting there thinking, oh, this is going to be good. This is going to be 3 or 4-0. And then in the second half, we let them back in, which we shouldn't have done. You could see their goal coming from quite a way off. And sure enough, yes, they did equalise. And then, of course, we were chasing the game, and it just didn't quite happen. We ran out of time.
And Anis went off injured, of course.
Yes, Anis went off injured. Brandon Hanlon then came on, played really well. It was a decent performance, but let's not beat around the bush. We could have done with a win rather than a draw.
And Lewis Wing went off as well.
Yes, that was a slightly eye-watering challenge that you did think, one of those that probably looked slightly worse than it was. The referee was right there. I don't like it when referees dramatically straight away bring out the red card, which is exactly what the referee did, because you thought, well, you haven't even really thought about that. You've seen it happen straight away and you've just gone, right, red card, without having any contemplation whatsoever. And I think we all prefer a little bit of, I'm not even saying that he has to go and speak to his linesman, but I think assistant referee, but they'll always be linesmen to me, in the way that it'll always be the Football League. Just take a little while to think about it rather than being actually quite so trigger happy with your card.
Because going ahead as well, I think you really think, oh, this is great, isn't it? We're going to get a win.
Yeah, definitely. And as I say, you actually were sitting there thinking, Gillingham aren't all that good. You can see why they're where they are. And yes, we're going to, it's going to be another Cambridge. I think that's probably what we all thought. And so it was slightly frustrating at half time that obviously that we hadn't added to our lead. And then the fact that, you slightly felt that the second half performance wasn't quite up to the first half performance. And suddenly just the whole stadium got going. Suddenly the home fans sensed that goal was going to come, and sure enough it did.
Because I think as well, if you're a fan and you've got your wall chart of the run-in, you look, if such things have been published, then you look at...
I think wall charts still exist, don't they? They haven't become virtual. I hope not, anyway.
You look at the Gillingham game and you think, oh, that's one...
And that's, exactly. In the position that we're in at the moment, you would look at Gillingham away and you'd think, well, yeah, really, that needs to be 3 points. And particularly given, the fact that we've got Plymouth now tomorrow, that's not going to be easy. And we've still got Sheffield Wednesday, that's not going to be easy. AFC Wimbledon and Burn, again, away games obviously not going to be easy, so maybe we should be happy with the point away at Gillingham. But even so, really we could have done with the win.
Let's get the thoughts of manager Gareth Ainsworth speaking to Phil after the game.
I mean, they're fighting for their lives, Neil's got them battling and scrapping, and they certainly did that towards the end, We looked a little bit leggy towards the end. But, you don't want to change a winning team. We were fantastic. I'd have probably been lambasted for changing that team on Tuesday night. So, yeah, it was a tough one. But 7 points in a week, I've said to the boys, that's a real good return, especially with the 2 away games. And we were sensational at Cambridge. And I thought first half today we were really good. They're going to come in, they're going to get their chances. They're at home, they're scrapping, they were gambling, leaving everything to chance at the end there. And it's a great strike from the boy. It's a good equaliser. Didn't take anything away from him. Neil's got them organised. Yeah, we take it on the chin. It's not a huge smash to us because everyone's drawn around us, I think, except Sunderland, and they beat Oxford, who were around us. So listen, there's going to be so many twists and turns before the end of this season, and that's one of them. Like I say, could have lost it, could have won it. We'll take a point today and look forward to next Friday against Plymouth.
Neil Harris made this change at the start of the second half, went to a back four, added on an attacking player.
Yeah.
It's that stage of the season, is it, where he was thinking we've got to go for this?
Yeah, they've got to go for it. They've been a 3 for a long time, and they've had 2 draws now. The last 2 games, I think they drew with Sheffield Wednesday here, and they've drawn with Wycombe. So you've got to say that fair play to them. He's turned it round from what they were, and they're going to try and survive in League One. We were trying to get out of League One, and the fans were brilliant. I saw them bouncing around, and it just adds to that atmosphere. They were really good. Yeah, I'm gutted we didn't get all 3 points, but I'm content with a point, content with the goal. I thought we scored was a real long ball sort of route one goal, and that's I'm not joking, but I'm gonna probably keep saying that. But no, we played some fantastic stuff, and really pleased with 7 in a week. We need to now start winning a couple of games to make ourselves contenders for these playoffs, because, as I say, it's going to go to the wire. There's going to be so many twists and turns, but yeah, it's a good game today.
Unchanged, but you lost Anis Vermetti after 10 minutes. That would have been a concern for a lot of Wycombe fans. His form has been excellent.
Yeah, Anis going off as worried as. We'll have to have a look at that. Obviously players don't often just want to come off like that, and Wingy obviously with his red card now, that's going to be it's going to be 3 games. So again, we're going to have to use all the resources of the squad. Sully Kai, Dominic Gape, all travelled, all can't wait to be a part of this, and I think we've got enough depth to cover those positions. But as you say, it would be a miss, but we'll see what the medicals say about that. But we go again. Yeah, we're going to have to regroup this week, get a good week's training, but more importantly, the next couple of days, get these boys recovered, because they've given everything for a week. So of the fans, go and rest your voices, because I need them next Friday.
Wycombe have been so settled in this run, but now you're going to have to shuffle the pack now without a choice. Yeah,
and that's football. You've got to take injuries and suspensions when they come. All I'll say is that the likes of Soleil and Gapey have been so patient, and Jack Grimmer and Jordan Beattie, they've been so patient waiting. I can't thank them enough for their patience, not putting any pressure on me to start having to talk to them or calm them down, and they'll get their chance, all of them. This is going to be Wycombe Wanderers together who make or break anything. Can't wait till next Friday now.
Friday is set to be an absolute classic. Plymouth right up there with you as well, and there's history between the two teams. A real tantalising fixture for the Easter weekend.
Yeah, and this is why we're in the game. This is the fixtures we look forward to. I'm really pleased with where we are in the league right now, with the fixtures we've got left. We've got a right chance of these playoffs, and I won't be leaving any stone unturned in my preparation and getting these boys fired up for what will be a fantastic Good Friday occasion. Can't wait, bring it on.
It does seem really positive, doesn't it, at the moment, I think? Well, obviously really positive with Gareth speaking anyway, but
yes, you don't normally hear Gareth being very negative, do you?
But interesting that he touched on the players being leggy as well. I think that was quite interesting.
Yes, yeah, definitely. And also interesting that he sort of said, we'll get them in training this week, and then sort of backtracked slightly and said, but first of all, we're going to make sure that they've recovered. And you think, well, yeah, when you've got 2 games, at least it's Friday and Monday. At least it's not in the days where they didn't used to really play on Good Friday, and so you used to have Easter Saturday and Easter Monday. So at least they've got a couple of days to recover. But interesting that he slightly then changed that, and it was like, okay, the recovery is probably more important actually than the training at this stage of the season, you would think.
And he mentioned Sully Kaikai as well, and people like Brandon Hanlon and Darryl Horgan, people like that.
There's still lots. Again, we have a squad. We don't have a team. We have a squad, and that is a change from previous years. So that is good, and that's why we should still be hopeful. And goodness me, there are so many teams actually that that would be kill to beat us. In particular, our friends up the M40, who have rather imploded and look like they will definitely now miss out on the playoffs, which is quite nice.
No, definitely still plenty to play for. Still to come on the Wycombe Wanderers Show. We'll hear from more from manager Gareth Ainsworth looking ahead to the visit of Plymouth. We'll hear from current captain Joe Jacobson speaking about former skipper Matt Bloomfield on a show which is dedicated especially to him. We'll be hearing from the man himself, Mr. Wycombe, very, very shortly as well, plus some fantastic tributes. Do you say tributes? It sounds like
tributes. Yes, but I know what you mean. I know where you're going with that. But yes, I think tributes is fine.
But first, some other news. Wycombe Wanderers women have appointed their new head coach this week, Carl Simon, who's been in charge of various teams at Watford Ladies, who has succeeded Dave Ward, and they're looking forward to starting a new 2022-23 campaign under him for the first team head coach there at Wycombe Wanderers women.
Not Carly Simon, which is what I read it as, first of all.
No.
He's coming around again.
Hey.
Oh, dear. Sorry.
No, that's no
Nobody does it better. Oh no, I'm just digging the hole even deeper now.
Yes,
but we look forward to speaking to Carl Simon.
Yeah, no, definitely. It'll be interesting to see what if he brings anything different to the team, or the way they play, or any new recruits or that sort of thing.
Yes, yeah, but obviously they've got a while now to wait.
Yes,
so again, I don't really understand why the women's season is so much shorter.
No, it feels quite truncated.
I know, it really does. I mean, it must be frustrating to not have nearly as many games, and in a division of what were they in this season? I think 11.
Yes.
You do wonder why maybe they don't do the sort of Scottish thing of actually playing home and away twice rather than just home and away once.
Yeah, it's a good point. Anything else for this section that we wanted to cover?
Check
your notes.
Well, today I see it is that day where all football fans of teams who are sort of like hovering around the playoffs have to decide whether or not they actually want to know this or not.
Oh yes, the playoffs.
They've released the playoff semi-final dates. Now, I always find that whenever I put the playoff semi-final dates in, that's always the kiss of death, and always means that then your team completely plummets and doesn't actually make the playoffs. So I'm still not quite sure whether or not I want to actually even know about the play. We knew when the playoff final was, but they've now released the playoff semi-final dates and also the way round that they're going to be, if you see what I mean.
Yes, absolutely.
So you now look like...
Are you going to share them with us, or are you literally just telling us that that's...
because I'm sort of hedging my bets, because I don't really want to know. So you can tell us.
No, it's all right, we'll leave it.
Okay.
Talking of significant... It's good to know they're out, though.
No, that seems silly, though.
Talking of significant... Oh, you're going to reveal them?
Go on. Keep going.
Okay. Talking of significant dates, yesterday was 65 years since the Amateur Cup final of 1957 against Bishop Auckland, which is quite exciting. And next week on the show we'll be chatting to Ray Howson, who was a young player around the time and would have had access, if that's the right word, to first teamers around that time. So we're very much looking forward to chatting to him. 65 years.
And also we are hoping to speak to Sam Wood as well. And Sam Wood was at the Gillingham game, which was very, very exciting. And I did feel a little bit for him at half-time when everyone was chanting at him, Woodo, give us a song. And he's just one person. What was he meant to do? And he just stood there sort of like making his cup of tea.
Just feeling a bit awkward.
Exactly. He was grinning. He did find it funny, but it was slightly... it seems a bit mean when the entire crowd is asking one person to sing them a song. But I did chat to him, and I did say, hello, I'm from Wycombe Sound. Will you come on the Wycombe Wanderers show? And he was very encouraging.
Accommodating.
And said, he was very accommodating. He was accommodating to everyone. So
did he ask if you knew any songs that you could help him out with?
No, he didn't. Possibly he was just being nice and said, "Oh yes. I will definitely speak to you, Bob. We'll never hear from him again." But he did say yes. So that was.
Did he move away
good.
quite quickly?
No, he didn't. He didn't.
Did you have a different hat on at the time? Was that one?
Yes, maybe. Yeah, I didn't approach him 3 times actually, with each different hat on.
No, but you have recruited guests in various car parks.
I have, that's true, yes. And this was actually on the slightly, very strange away stand at Gillingham. Gillingham is the only ground that I've ever been to where actually the away facilities are better than the stand.
Oh.
You go in the toilets and you think, wow, these are really good football toilets in that there's lots and lots of them and you don't really have to queue. And then you go in the temporary stand that's at Priestfield, and you think, oh, this is a bit naff, really. This isn't very good. The rest of the ground is fine. It's only the away stand that needs work.
If you've just tuned in, the football toilet section isn't something that we normally cover, but it might be something for future episodes. Or just a whole show dedicated to that. That'd be quite nice.
I think we should do that.
Yeah.
With your Australian friend that rates the service stations. This could be a sort of extension of that.
Oh, Jared Christmas, yeah.
Rating the football toilets. But, in the way that, I don't know, Kenilworth Road, there's some really bad toilets for you.
Oh, really?
Yeah. They're bad. The Priestfield toilets, definitely get the thumbs up in that there's lots of them. You don't really have to queue, even at half-time.
And the Football Toilet Awards, that's what's winning.
That's going to be our new thing. Whereas other shows and podcasts and whatever, by this time of the season, will be doing their Player of the Season. We're going to do Football Toilets.
Loo of the Year.
Loo of the Year. Priestfield is definitely a contender.
Loo of the Season. That should catch on. Anyway, I kind of think we should move on. Second part of the Wycombe Wanderers Show.
I will get to the playoff dates at some point.
Oh, no, go on, yeah.
No, don't say go on now, because I haven't got them in front of me.
Oh, go keep listening for the playoff dates.
Online, on Radio Player, and on 106.6 FM. This is Wycombe Sound.
Second part of the Wycombe Wanderers Show, we're dedicating it to Matt Bloomfield. I had a tour of the training ground yesterday.
And you spoke to him as well, and we are going to hear that very, very shortly. But you've also gone to the trouble of contacting lots of Matt's former players who have recorded a tribute to him, and we are going to play those for you now.
Hi Blooms, how you doing? It's Rhino. It just seems like yesterday that you turned up from Ipswich as a fresh-faced 19-year-old kid. Where's all that time gone? It's unbelievable. Yeah, I believe you were Tony Adams' first signing, and he absolutely knew a player, mate, because you've done a fantastic job there at Wycombe for so many years. I think we played in midfield together in your first game, and you probably got a better memory than I have. I don't know who it was against or how that went, but it's always been a pleasure to be around you. I had a good nucleus when you turned up with young players, and I know you formed a strong bond with the likes of Mike Williamson and Russell Martin and your squaddy mate Joe Burnell, Johnny Dixon, Greggs, Cadmore, Torres, Stonebridge, Philo. All them boys were a pleasure to be around. They really, all of you represented Wycombe Wanderers with such credit. Yeah, I had so many fond memories of playing with you and certainly coaching you and being involved in the management when you were there. I know that together you boys achieved such great things, some fantastic FA Cup runs against Tottenham notably, and obviously that star-studded Chelsea team that we got to the semi-final of the Carling Cup, Jose Mourinho's fantastic all-conquering Chelsea team, which was a hell of an achievement. But I think probably your crowning glory was obviously the Wembley appearances, and the more recent one where, as captain, you captained the team to victory into the Championship, which was an outstanding achievement and something that I'm very proud of you for. It was something that I would have loved to have achieved as captain of that football club, and I'm quite jealous that you managed to do it, so great credit goes to you and all the team for that. Your abilities have always been evident from day one when you turned up, and your enthusiasm and energy was always infectious around everyone. It was no surprise to me that you became captain and captained Wycombe Wanderers for such a long period of time. All I've got to say is thank you for being such a tremendous member of the Wycombe family. You will be remembered for years to come as a Wycombe legend, and quite rightly. And just to say, enjoy your retirement, you deserve it. Hopefully you'll continue with some involvement within football, hopefully with Wycombe, but please try and stay involved in football, because football needs you. I hope to see you on the 15th when I come down and watch the game against Plymouth. Hopefully we can catch up then. We need to get that round of golf that we keep promising each other in, so sometime in the summer maybe we'll catch up. Love to you and all your family. Much love, as always. Rhino. Cheers. Bye, mate.
Hey Blooms, Danny Sender here. Congratulations on what has been a fantastic career. It was an absolute pleasure sharing a pitch with you all those years ago. Can't believe how quickly it's gone. You represented the club with such class and dignity throughout your entire time there. I have absolutely no doubt you're going to go on to even bigger and better things in the future, mate. Good luck, pal.
Super Matty Bloomfield. I just wanted to send a quick message to you. just to, in ways, thank you for being such a good leader, and you will continue to be a good leader. But I remember from the first day I arrived, you were so welcoming, and it is an absolute honour to be a part of your footballing career and your journey. So I'm really excited. You have so many amazing qualities. So you've just got such an abundance. So I am really excited to see your next chapter, and that's what all it is. It's the next chapter in your book. But thank you so much. You're an amazing guy, and like I said, so appreciate you, and enjoy the game, soak it all in, and I'll be in touch with you soon. Alright, God bless, mate. Take care.
Hi Matty, this is Gaffer. I'm on the middle of the street here. This is the shop that show my paintings off. I just wanted to say to you, wish you all the best, a successful evening. You know what I think of you. You've been one of my favourite players all through my career, and I wish you all the best for your new coaching job with Gareth at Wycombe, and things are going well there. I just want to see you getting promoted again. But most of all, proud of you, what you've done and achieved. You were special as a person and as a player when I was manager at Wycombe, and we've been friends ever since. So have a great night, Matty, and I hope to see you soon. Good luck.
I was lucky enough, or fortunate enough to be able to work, with him, as a player. He's got a lot of qualities, a very talented footballer. But, he's got other qualities as well. He's very, very determined. Every training session, every game, he wanted to improve and, be the best, and be the best at what he can be, and every session he gave 100%. Every game he gave 100%. He was totally committed to the cause. He's been a loyal servant to the football club, and the club are very lucky to have him. He's got all the attributes, all the qualities to go into the coaching side. Even during the period of time that I was there, you could see that he had the right makeup to want to go into coaching. I know he's done the media side as well, and he's very good at that. But with the experiences as a player, if he can help younger players develop and fulfill their potential, that would be great for him and for the club as well.
Matt Bloomfield has done more to this football club than possibly anyone who's at this club right now, honestly. And I know there's fans who've been here years getting behind us. I've been here a long time. There's a lot of staff been here a long time. Matt Bloomfield has represented this club in the best possible way he can in everything he's ever done for this football club. There's nothing I could ever say about Matt Bloomfield that would think, that's a little bit of a low point. He's just been phenomenal through all his injuries, through what he's been used to do, what he's been asked to do with different chairmen coming in and Matt having injuries and not being able to get big contracts, and then finally realising his dream of playing in the Championship for this football club. He has been the most influential player at this football club for the last 20 years, and I don't think there's an argument anywhere in football that could say different to that. He's just been reliable, honest, just 100% Wycombe Wanderers, and he loves the place. He really does, and he's an absolute shining light, and eclipses everything anyone has done at this club. Matt's been fantastic.
So fantastic to speak to you. Thank you so much for your time, and really nice to hear those tributes as well.
Yeah, that was just incredible. It's made me feel a bit emotional, I must admit. There's people who have said those kind words who I could not respect and admire anymore. It's not possible to respect and admire them more than I possibly do. So to hear say those kind words about me is just really touching. Made me feel a bit emotional. It's just lovely to think that all the effort and all the endeavour over the years has represented this club the way I really wanted to, and really wanted to over the years. So it's really, really touching.
Have you had sort of time to reflect? Because obviously when you made the initial announcement, I guess obviously it was quite hard with the news about the injury and stuff like that. But do you kind of now, sort of time on, do you think to look back and sort of see what you've achieved?
Quite possibly, but do you know what? I've now got new things that I want to achieve. So it's kind of like I don't feel like I can rest on anything. I really loved my career. I enjoyed every moment of it, although there was some real highs and some devastating lows along the way. It wasn't all sunshine and light. There was some tough times along the way, but I loved it because I was doing what I loved doing, the job I dreamed of doing, playing for a club that I could not love any more than I possibly did. So it was so fulfilling in so many ways. But now I have a new career and new ambitions and new things, new goals to aim for, and my focus is firmly on that. Hearing those gentlemen say such kind words about me is obviously really touching and very fulfilling. So it's really kind of them, and I might take a minute just to think about that. But as much as I'm looking forward to today on Friday, it'll only be enjoyable if we beat Plymouth. So there's always something to look forward to and aim for.
Is it possible to sort of sum up what's kept you at this one club for so long? I'm sure people ask you a lot.
Yeah, I'm not sure it's possible to sum it up without me waffling on all day. I don't think, if I'm honest. I came here at 19, I signed an 18-month contract, and I honestly thought that it was going to be a stepping stone. I left Ipswich in the Championship, and when I say honestly thought that, I hoped that I would get back to that point. I didn't realise it was going to take me 18 years to get back to that point, but that was the level I wanted to play at. That's the level I wanted to prove everyone wrong at Ipswich, that I could play that. But then I kind of came into the club, and it got under my skin, and we went on this kind of incredible journey together, and there was always a reason to stay. There was always something to aim for. The people here are so special, the supporters, the people who work behind the scenes. I was so lucky to play for so many great managers, Tony Adams, John Gorman, Peter Taylor, Gary Waddock, the gaffer, these are Paul Lambert. These are all just incredible managers, and we just had an absolute run of great people, and there was always a real good reason to stay. There was always something to aim for. So it's not as if at any point over those 18 and a half years that it's got stale. It's not. There's always something new to aim for. The club's been moving forward over the last 10 years under the manager, the gaffer now, and there's always been a reason to stay, and I've loved it here, so there's never been anything that's made me want to leave.
And it must have been fantastic, the sort of transition that you've witnessed, obviously being in League 2, in League 1 and the Championship obviously at last, and seeing the different players come and go as well.
It has been, and do you know what, I spoke earlier on about the devastating lows, but you can only enjoy the highs if you experience the lows. And I wouldn't have enjoyed the highs of getting promoted at Wembley 2 years ago, and I wouldn't have enjoyed the highs of playing in the Championship finally at 36 without experiencing those lows along the way. So they were massive lessons in my life, let alone my career, and it enabled me to enjoy and really, really savour those moments that we've had over the last couple of years, because like I say, without those early experiences in my career, then the last couple of years wouldn't have been quite so joyful, I don't think.
Are there particular highlights that you sort of pick out or think of? Obviously that's probably your first goal against QPR, I saw that recently, and obviously the Chelsea games, and obviously being at Wembley for the Championship as well.
Yeah, nothing comes anywhere close to 30th of July 2020. Nothing comes anywhere near that. That was the most euphoric moment on a football pitch I've ever experienced. I must admit, Torquay away wasn't too far behind in terms of, if this club fell into the National League or the Conference as it was called at the time, what would the ramifications been and what would the repercussions been as a football club doesn't even bear thinking about. So I must admit that those two moments are a real standout. Obviously I enjoyed the cup runs, they were great, but for real pivotal moments in my life, let alone my career, those two moments stand out above the rest.
And it must be with such a sense of pride as well, the way you've led various teams, obviously represented the club as well, and as you see, where it is today.
Yeah, I think, playing at Wembley was one boyhood dream. Captaining a team at Wembley was two. To win and lift a trophy was above my wildest dreams. So I think that's why it was, and to do it, for any team it would have been great, but to do it for Wycombe Wanderers, who a club whose people, I think, is the main thing. The supporters, the people who work at the club, the manager, the assistant manager, coaching staff, my teammates. That was just a culmination of so many emotions, achieving that lifelong ambition to get to the Championship, providing for my wife and my children, and elongating my career by getting to the Championship. All of those emotions just made it the most incredible night. And like I say, this club is really, really special. It gets under your skin, and to be able to captain a team at Wembley and lift that trophy was just crazy.
And fascinating to see, from the outside, but I'm sure being inside as well, how the club's, developed under the Couhigs, and obviously, only just avoiding staying up in the Championship as well.
Yeah, I mean, I can't praise Rob and Pete Couhig highly enough. When they first came into the club, they pumped money into the club to keep us in League One and keep the budget, competitive. I think you'd probably call it that first year, and barely competitive, considering the 9 players we had on the start of the season. And then they returned it to a competitive level that enabled us to stay in League One that year. Not only did we stay in League One, we got promoted. I think we forget that they didn't even actually take over the club until February of that season that we then got promoted. So the work that they've done here, the way they've supported the manager, the way they've supported the players, the improvements are not only here at the training ground but down at Adams Park as well, and supported me through this transition period in my career when my playing career's ended. I can't thank those two gentlemen highly enough, along with their families as well, with Missy's been over with Rob and helping develop the club and the commercial and the shop as well, and the merchandise. So they've been incredible for this club, and the reason we can enjoy these last couple of years is because of those guys getting involved, because under a trust ownership it was really hard to maintain League One football, and not only did they enable us to maintain League One, they paid us throughout the pandemic, which enabled us to play the playoffs to get to the Championship, and without their takeover, I'm not even sure we would have been able to afford to go through that playoff campaign and pay the lads in full like they did. So my extreme gratitude to them for what they've done for Wycombe Wanderers.
And how would you describe your relationship with Gareth? Because obviously he's someone that you played with and roomed with as well, and then sort of played under and are now part of the coaching team as well.
How do I sum it up quickly? It's hard to, because I guess respect is the first word that comes to mind. A real mutual appreciation and respect of each other. To go from roommates and teammates to manager and player could have been a tough transition period for the both of us, but it wasn't, because I totally and utterly respected that he was the manager and he had to make tough calls and decisions along the way, and I couldn't admire or respect him any more than I possibly do the job that he's done for Wycombe Wanderers. He's the best manager in this club's history, and what he's done in the last 10 years is nothing short of miraculous. But not only that, I think the values and the morals that he holds closest to himself, and the way he treats people first and foremost is what I admire most about him. He's able to leave results and performances at the door and treat the players as people first and foremost, and their families and their feelings are so important to him, and he treats them each and every player with respect, and his staff as well. So our relationship's incredible, and like I say, I've learnt so much from him as a man and as a manager, and my respect and admiration for him could not be higher.
And the growth in the size of the squad that's available to him as well. It doesn't feel like that long ago that he was having to name himself as a player or the goalkeeping coach in teams as well.
Exactly, and I think that's a sign of how far this club has come. It's the gaffer's job getting us to Wembley, although we lost in the playoffs in 2015, I believe, and then to be under trust ownership and to keep punching above our weight. For then the Couhigs to come in and enable the gaffer to make some great signings that summer. David Wheeler, Jack Grimmer, Paul Smith, Namdi, some other names I'm sure I've forgotten, but we lost Jason McCarthy that summer, but Darius played out of his skin that year with a hip injury. It really enabled the gaffer to galvanise the whole club and push it forward. And you see now, the building at the training ground, the facilities we've got down at Adams Park, park. It's really enabled this club to kick on, and now we've got 11v11 in training, and either team could win. It's that competitive, which is night and day away from the days when the gaffer was having to name himself on the bench.
And it feels really exciting moving forward as well. So fantastic that we've been challenging in the top part of the table all season, and obviously the campaign's not over yet, but it just feels that it's really positive, building for the future as well with the young talent that Sam Grace brings in as well.
Yeah, it's so exciting. I think that we're now looked upon as a big club in League One who's fighting for the Championship, which if you go back 4 or 5 years when we were just narrowly avoiding defeat at Torquay, it's incredibly exciting. I literally could not be more excited for the future of this football club than I possibly am. Pete and Rob have great plans for it, of what they've done, plans for the training grounds, enabled the gaffer to bring in some real top quality. Think of 5 years ago that we'd be able to sign players like Sam Vokes and Gareth McAleary. You'd think we're all going crazy, and now we're in a position where we're not only signing those lads, they're loving coming and playing for this football club. They really truly appreciate playing for this football club because of the foundations it's built on and the values that it's built on. So that's the exciting part of this, that we're now able to attract those kind of players, whereas in the past we had to rely on players like me.
And it's so nice for you now as well as a coach to be able to sort of nurture these young talent coming through.
Yeah, it's fulfilling. I didn't realise I was going to enjoy it as much as I am. I knew that I wanted to stay in football. I did a media degree and I did my coaching badges. I didn't really know which way it was going to go up until literally, I would say, the last 5 years with the gaffer and Dobbo. They've been the real inspiration for what I want to do with my life and my future, because I always used to think that managers had to treat people harshly and be that kind of guy. But now I can see that you can treat people with respect. Obviously, you still have to have a firm line, and there has to be respect there. But the way the gaffer and Dobbo have treated us over the last 5 years and the success they've had off the back of it really showed me that this is the route I want to take. And now working with some of the young boys this year, working with Anis, working with Brandon out on the training pitch, working with these guys and really trying to give them my time and trying to help them move forward is so fulfilling, and I'm thoroughly enjoying it.
And for your own future, hopefully we'll still see you here for a bit longer yet.
I hope so. I'm really enjoying what I'm doing at the moment, and hopefully the club are mutual in that feelings, and hopefully things can move forward and I can stay.
And obviously the Plymouth game is something you must be really looking forward to as well.
I am. First and foremost, I want to win. That's all that really matters to me, but secondary to that, my mum and my dad are going to come to the game, my wife and my children are going to come out on the pitch, the girls are going to come out on the pitch with me, and I'm going to have all my nieces and nephews there, and it's going to be a really special family day. So first and foremost, I guess it's going to make memories of a lifetime for them, and I really hope they enjoy the day. But like I say, I want to win.
I just finally a message to the fans.
I would just like to say the most heartfelt thank you to all the supporters for the last 18 and a half years, supporting me on the pitch through some really good times, but also some really tough times. I hope that they would think that the respect has been mutual, has come back from me to them as well. I've really appreciated them supporting me and supporting the team through those tough times. There's been times at Adams Park when we've really needed them, and they've almost sucked the ball in the 97th minute from the terrace behind the goal, and they've really helped us get over the line. If you think back to some of the late goals we've scored over the years and what they've helped us go on to achieve. And not only that, it's just speaking to people around the ground, seeing people at supporters events or out in the town or before and after games, and the support that I've received over that 8.5 years, I really hope they realise how much I've appreciated that, and hopefully our relationship will continue going forward.
Well, on behalf of everyone, thank you so much, Nick, for your service. Brilliant to chat to you.
Thank you, thanks for having me.
Real pleasure to chat to Matt Bloomfield. I must say a big thank you to Matt Cecil as well for facilitating that. You might have seen on the club website. You really think you've made it when you see a picture of yourself on the club website. I was surprised.
It was a good shirt. I liked your shirt.
I was surprised they used my face. I thought that would put me wrong. I thought they'd use someone else as like a stand-in or just feature Matt. But it was nice to have.
They could have got you like Bodger's head or something.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. No, really, really nice. What a lovely guy Matt Bloomfield is. Really interesting as well, the comment that he made about thinking about managers and that he assumed that actually to be a manager, you basically have to be cross and shout a lot, and then once Gareth came along, he realised that wasn't the case. And I think sort of is why we have so many, why somebody like Matt has stayed for such a long time, and also why we have so many players who then actually come back to Wycombe Wanderers, because they realise actually, that we do have somebody very special actually who is our manager.
Absolutely. We'll hear from that man, Gareth Ainsworth, before the end of the show as well. And we'll hear from the current captain and get his thoughts on Matt Bloomfield as well here at Wycombe Sound.
Online, on Radio Player, and on 106.6 FM. This is Wycombe Sound.
Final part of this week's Wycombe Wanderers Show, a special featuring Matt Bloomfield. We'll hear from the manager in a few moments' time. Lots going on at Adams Park tomorrow, though, with the visit of Plymouth. New kit, limited edition. Yes, a special kit for Ukraine. So we are going to be playing in blue and yellow quarters tomorrow, and that kit will then be auctioned off as well, with all proceeds going to the Ukrainian appeal. Also tomorrow, Keith Ryan and Nathan Tyson, they're both going to be there showing their appreciation for Matt Bloomfield, and also John Maskell will be there as well on the pitch before kick-off, greeting Matt. I'm assuming basically a similar sort of thing to when Bayo obviously had his special game against Doncaster. I'm imagining that there'll be quite a large guard of honour, and that John Maskell will be the person presenting certificates and shirts and all of those sort of things. And the sun's going to shine as well.
Let's hope so. That, again, when you're picturing tomorrow, yes, it's definitely a sunny day, and we win 3-0.
More on Matt Bloomfield, though, from the current captain, Joe Jacobson, who's been speaking to Phil.
To me, personally, he's just been a great friend. I remember, I think my first ever game pre-season was his testimonial against Chelsea, going back all that time. And, at the start, I didn't realise... I just thought as a player, been at a club for so long, and then you start to be involved with him and be around the training ground with him over the years, and you can see what a special guy is and how much he deserves to have this big day. Unfortunately, I had a little part to play in why this day is happening now, but it's something that we talk about and have a little joke about now. But he's just been an incredible servant to this football club first and foremost, and someone who I look up to, and we chat regularly on the phone and not just at the training ground about life and things like that, and he's someone that I'll have as a friend for the rest of my life for sure.
It just goes to show, even after 19 years as a player, you never know when it's going to come to an end as well. It's important that we mark these achievements in the game for players like this, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%. He deserves it. There's probably not many players in the whole EFL who deserve to have a send-off at one football club like he's going to have, and I just hope he enjoys it. I know with him he'll have his professional head on, and it will all be focused on tactics and how he can help the team get 3 points, but I want him to take it in, enjoy it. I know his family will be there and things like that, so I want them to kind of appreciate what he's done for this football club, and he deserves all the attributes and all the accolades that will come his way. I'm his biggest fan as much as anyone else, and I really want us to get the 3 points. I know that will be his most enjoyable part of the day.
Now he's on the coaching staff, what do you miss about Blooms as the player, your teammate?
Now I just feel a little bit bad taking the mick out of him. I think when he's got the MB rather than number 10 on his clothes, it's more difficult to kind of have a little go at him. There's been times over the years that we've organised nights out because of him, because he's had a child and he's not even turned up. So those little things I've always had to go at him, but now I've got to be a little bit more professional. Until we leave the training ground, we have a little phone call and we can have a chat about things. But just him being around the place, he's always happy, he's always smiling, he's always leading by example. And before I came here, I wasn't as professional as I am now. And I do that because I've seen people like Blooms doing that. So he's probably helped me add years onto my career as well, which is I can only thank him for.
That was going to be my next question. You're in your 30s now, looking at players like Blooms. What is it about his habits and his professionalism that's infiltrated your game and your approach?
I just think that there's always more that you can do. You always think when you're younger you'll be fine, you can play, you don't need to do the extra work, but I think the older you get, it's easier to say and to see from times before that I wish I did more and I wish I did this. But probably luckily for me, I found Blooms at a good time, and is at a time in my career where I've been managed to kind of elongate my career a little bit more than I may have done if I wasn't at a club where people and staff and things like that were so professional. So you can only look at someone like Blooms, who's still as fit as anything else, and if it wasn't for the injuries, then he'd still probably be playing and be desperate to be playing. So for me, he just shows that you can play on for as long as you want to. He still has that desire. He still has that appetite and that hunger to work hard every single day. He may not be doing it playing, but he does it, around the place. He still manages to lift everyone when he needs to and things like that. So it's only a positive to have around the place.
He walked through the doors at Wycombe Wanderers in 2003. Can you remember what you were doing in 2003?
That was the year I left high school, actually, so I wasn't that far behind him. Some of the boys, I don't know if they were born in 2003, but it's a long time ago. And we always joke about when transfer windows come about, and he's like, is it first time in 20 years or 20 windows or 30 windows, whatever it is, that he might have a phone call from his agent, but it never happens. And it's amazing that in this day and age that a player can stay at a club for so long. And it's just a credit to himself for always being, out there to be picked, for always being available for managers, for always having managers who want to play him and like him, and he's good around the place. If you don't last that long under so many managers, if you don't have all those things, so it's a credit to himself.
And a bit like the Bayo Appreciation Day, are the boys desperate to get that win on Good Friday for Blooms for his day?
Yeah, of course. We know how big the game is, not just for us, but for Blooms as well. And like B said before his game, all he wanted was 3 points. That will make him happier than anything else. And Blooms will be the same. Get the 3 points. He can enjoy the day with his family. That sums up football. Whenever you have things, big milestones or bursts or whatever it is, when you've got going on at football, if you get the 3 points, it makes the day a hell of a lot more special.
You can hear more from Joe Jacobson speaking to Phil on Wanderers TV as well. A really fantastic insight there as well, from the current captain talking about a former skipper.
I like the fact that they arrange events for Matt and then he doesn't actually turn up. That's fantastic.
Yeah. Talking of events, also on Friday, Good Friday, you can get a Matt Bloomfield burger.
You can, yes.
Halloumi is the main ingredient, as chosen by Mr. Wycombe himself.
It's the latest one from Will the Chef after the Bayo burger.
Yes, the Hellfire Grill is proving extremely popular.
I like the fact that Phil Catchpole's face in both when they have been publicising these. It's exactly the same.
He's got a burger face.
He has got a burger face, hasn't he? A sort of like, slightly shocked, look, this looks tasty, look.
So coming up, a chat with Gareth. I think there's a bit of explaining he's doing to this.
Okay.
Bit of a setup.
Right.
So earlier on in the week, I came across a fan in the town.
Oh yes.
I was wearing my Wycombe Wanderers shirt, not the one I'm wearing currently, a different one. And he sort of stopped me and said, doing really well at the moment, aren't we? Playing some of the best stuff. Andy from Punkarola also said something similar in the week as well. Tune into his show tomorrow with the Mayor. And he was saying it's playing some great football, obviously not conceding many goals, creating plenty of chances.
People are now wondering why he's on with the Mayor, but you'll have to listen tomorrow to find
absolutely.
out. I also like your reference about the shirt, that in case I was thinking that actually you hadn't changed for a few days.
Got another shirt on today. Retro shirt day, of course, tomorrow.
Retro shirt day today, yes.
Pack that in.
Bring your old shirts.
Yes, bring them. I think you're supposed to wear them. Bring them along.
Like a sort of like washing line. How many of you got,
bring your shirts.
This one in the 1957 Cup final against Bishop Auckland.
So I was keen to find out whether that Gareth and the players felt the same.
Okay.
And that will make more sense for a reference later on in the interview as well.
I think we've built over the years this reputation of underdogs and a little bit direct play, the way we slow games down. And I think this season we've proved people that all that was sort of a bit of a snowball effect. People loving to say that about us, and actually we do play some good stuff, and we're a good, solid footballing team, And I was really pleased with the goal Saturday against Gillingham. I thought it was a fantastic goal. Listen, this is going down to the wire. 74 points has never failed to make the playoffs in the last 10 years. And we're 1 point off that. So for me, we've had a successful year, definitely. But we're amongst some huge teams, some big sides. And I think the league now is showing there's two leagues. There's the teams that, have come up or have just had a bad start or in a little bit of a mix up at the moment. And then there's the teams really going for it. And there's about 12 of them. They've made this points total going to be ridiculously high. They've made this sort of mini league at the top of the table, and at the bottom, the team that goes down, they're going to be on a very low points total. So this is what's happened this season, and it's great to be at the right end of the table. Really good that Wycombe are in this battle, and like I say, we've got to look where we were, but also I've got every confidence we can on our day, beat anybody in this league. And I feel like we've got a chance of making these playoffs. And that's a huge statement with 4 games to go, which I'm sure every Wycombe fan would have loved to have heard back at the start of the season. Let's go for it.
And it just shows how close it is, obviously, only being outside the top 6 on head-to-head with Sunderland.
Yeah, we were trying to work out what actually is the reason we're below Sunderland, and is it the head-to-head? We don't know. I think we're a little bit unsure. We thought it might even been alphabetical order, and that would have been a disaster. But we're going to have to make sure that we finish above Sunderland then, at least by a goal, because if we finish on the same points, we don't want that trip up to the Stadium of Light to determine the season. We were thinking, does it come down to red and yellow cards and things like that? Because I know that's been done in the past. But we're hoping to outright finish in that top 6, and that's our aim. And Friday will be a big game towards that.
How's Anis been? Because obviously he came off on Saturday.
Yeah, he had a little knock early on and he couldn't carry on, but hopefully we can get him back for this one. He's been a key player this season and he's been flying. So yeah, it'd be great to see Anis because he did so much damage down at Plymouth. It'd be great to get him involved in this game again. And have preparations been any different? Obviously, you got a day less this week. Yeah, of course. Yeah, we changed the day off round. We get the boys in on specific days for games, and it's been my prep through my tenure. With all the sports science and loading everything, we're looking at that and reviewing that for next season. But this season we've kept it as normal, and yeah, we're really pleased with where we are. Fitness wise, 1 or 2 knocks that have come probably at the wrong end of the season, but that's football. You've got to deal with these things, and we've got to make sure that we are just performing at the top level that we can perform. And I've got a real deep squad this season. I'm really pleased to say that no matter who plays, I think we're going to be very competitive in any game. Everything seems so well set up for Friday, doesn't it? I think there'll be a massive crowd at the game for at least 2 reasons, but it really is a fantastic. It feels like a real great time of the season as well. Yeah, and make no bones about this. Plymouth are a very good side. They're up there for a reason. They've got some very good players, and if I'm honest, they weren't fancied at the start of the season, but they've got the place really, in a frenzy down there. They've got loads of fans coming. I think they get, well above 10 every game inside their stadium, and they're going to be travelling well, I'm sure, because this is a big game for them as well. But we've got to make sure that we do pay our dues to Matt Bloomfield, because somebody who stays at any club for that amount of time is incredible, and Matt's day is important without a shadow of a doubt. We wouldn't be here. Think about that. We wouldn't even be here without people like Matt Bloomfield. So he's played his part already. But also I think the enormity of the game will take care of itself with the fans, with the sunshine and with everyone turning up. So yeah, really looking forward to this one. I told the guy that I spoke to in the town that I'd be speaking to. I'm not sure he believed me because he laughed, but he said to tell you that all the fans are behind you, which must be such a great. I mean, it seems such a unique thing to football, doesn't it? But you don't hear accountants saying, "Oh, it's been a busy end of the financial year," but all the spreadsheet fans are behind me. But it's so great that the town is really, really backing the club and wants the club to do well. Yeah, the difference between me and the accountant is he doesn't get judged twice a week. He gets judged once a year, So it's slightly different. But to have all the fans behind us is brilliant. It really is. And I get told repeatedly by Wycombe fans, and I get people coming up to me saying, "Just thanks for what you've done for the football club," and that for me is a huge compliment, because it's not been just me; it's everyone involved, and I've assembled a fantastic team, a fantastic staff team. Together, we've assembled a fantastic squad, and behind that, there's all the ones down at the offices who, honestly, it's been tough. It's been really tough at times, and there's been a lot of adversity. There's been a lot of tough times, and I'm really happy to say that some faces been here for a long, long time, and hoisted this club to where it now is competing for championship status, which is still phenomenal. But even when I was playing back in the day, Wycombe Wanderers were never regarded as a championship outfit, and now we're thinking maybe we could get there again, which is brilliant. So, no, thank you for all the support. And if he's listening, you were speaking to me this morning, and so it's nice to hear the support. I hope to see him again. It'd be really nice to see him.
I really was speaking to Gareth Ainsworth.
Speak to Gareth, yeah.
Here you are, look.
We were hearing from, obviously, Matt Bloomfield, and it really sort of triggered a kind of a, what would be your favourite Matt Bloomfield moment?
Favourite Matt Bloomfield moment? Picture Plainmoor back in 2014.
Ooh.
That's Torquay United game. There's 6 minutes gone. And Matt Bloomfield zooms down the right after a defensive mix-up by Torquay, crosses the ball for Sam Wood to open the scoring. And arguably, if Matt Bloomfield hadn't have crossed the ball, then possibly would we be still in the Football League? You just don't know, do you? But yeah, that's probably that's number one. And also the fact, of course, that he played the first 45 minutes in the playoff final at Wembley.
Yeah, captain inside there.
Yeah,
that was literally realising his dream of getting to the Championship.
And you remember again, and I know I said this to Bayo when it was his special time, but you just seeing Bayo, seeing Matt Bloomfield celebrating on that pitch, the fact that we've made it to the Championship, very, very special times, very, very special players. So thank you very much, Matt Bloomfield, for all that you've done for Wycombe Wanderers. We are all very, very grateful.
And obviously it's head injuries that's ended his career, but just the fact that he always put his head in as well.
Yes, that's true. He never shied away from a challenge, did Matt Bloomfield.
It's been fantastic to share everyone's thoughts with him, and looking forward to the Plymouth game.